How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korriban Gaming. Welcome back to a very special adventure quest video, and today we are going to be showcasing another challenge battle. Okay, so initially I wanted to save all my series of challenge battles until after the stat revamp, but it seems like the stat revamp is not going to come anytime soon, and the fastest that we'll probably see is probably going to be sometime next year. Even then, I'm not even sure if they'll have time next year to do it because the stat revamp is a freaking huge job. Okay, so I've seen quite a lot of requests and comments for from new and returning players, especially right now when the game is having its 20th anniversary. They just returned to the game and are struggling with certain fights. So I decided instead of waiting for them to do the stat revamp, I am going to be releasing videos from now on some of the harder challenge fights inside of the game to help you guys out, ideally without any hard to get equipment, without any pay to win equipment and all that kind of jazz. Okay, so yeah, hopefully these guide videos will be helpful to, you know, those new and returning players who are looking for help getting past some of these tougher monsters. Of course, the ideas, the guides and strategies that are presented here are, you know, just one way of skinning a cat. You can beat them in a variety of other different methods, but I think the method I show will probably be the easiest. Okay, of course, if you have other equipment like Kindred, like Book of Burns, like Geocastellum, any of those items, very powerful items, you can just use them and, you know, just skip through this video entirely. But that being said, some of those items are locked behind tougher challenges themselves, like Book of Burns is locked behind the moderator challenge, so some might not be able to get past that. But yeah, you guys get know what I mean. If you have those items and if you don't want to follow the strategies used here, then just use those items and they will pretty much get you through 99.99% of the bosses inside of the game without much thinking. Okay, so for this strategy here, Shadowscythe Virophage, and why I'm choosing to start off with this is because I just saw on the Artix Entertainment official Discord like 2 days ago, somebody was asking for help regarding this monster. Now, this person has already beaten the challenges with Book of Burns, but hopefully any other players who see this in the future will still find it helpful, because this can be a tough boss for those who are not prepared. So this boss has 4 phases and they are all split up. So this is the first phase here. And oh, by the way, you can find this boss in the War Between Shadows finale. I name you Deceit. Okay, and this first phase, what it does is it has a permanent backlash that reflects 15% of damage taken as light damage and 15% of damage taken as darkness damage. It also has freedom, so you can't stun it. It has a soft damage cap of 478, so you can't do a lot of damage in it in one go, and it has boss boost plus 20. Okay, all of its resistances are 70% except light and darkness, which is minus 75% each, so you cannot hit him with light and darkness, otherwise you're just going to heal it instead. MRM is 92, which is pretty standard. The SP skill deals minus 25% damage, applies 1 turn of light imbue or darkness imbue to you at random. If there are any negative statuses on the mob, this attack deals a further minus 25% damage, cleanses all negative status effects, and then dazes the mob for 3 turns with a base stun rate of 10% and a further 10% stun rate per negative status that was on the boss when the skill fired. So you want to inflict statuses on the foe, I guess, if you can, because this guy does have boss boost, but we are not going to be bothering with that. Okay, so some key equipment you need for this boss is obviously some shadow armor and shadow equipment. Guardian Luminous Shield, the top shadow shield out there, definitely want to get this. It's not too hard to get. Armor, I'm using Ultimon's armor. If you are unable to get Ultimon's armor because you can't get past Ultimon, you can also use Shadow of Doubt. That is also a very good shadow armor. And then for weapon, you can basically just use anything. Okay, I am using Lawkeeper's Oath. That is a seasonal rare, but I can use something like Horror Show as well. That one is from the 10th anniversary event and it has a harm toggle. Pets, you can just go with any pets, doesn't matter. Gas, if you like to bring gases, you can bring it along, but it's not a big deal either. Okay, so and then you also want to use Crystal of Restless Shadows. With this combination, it will bring your light and darkness resist down to 12%. So this guy will basically deal 0 damage to you whatsoever. Okay, other key equipment that you need, I'm going to be using Essence Orb for this. So I'm going to start off by getting a lot of SP. Okay, there are 2 fights that you have to go through, Dissonant Draco Leeches, before you can fight the first phase of Shadowscythe Virophage. So you can use those fights to build up your SP, so you don't have to do what I'm doing right now. But this is just to show you, if you didn't come super prepared, you can still do it. right now. And I am using the level 5 Essence Orb. You can use the level 150 version. Lesser clicks, not as efficient, but will still be useful here. It will still work here. Okay, and then you want to get Shadowscythe Feeder Pendant. Get as many turns as you can. Looks like we only got 1 turn. That's pretty unlucky. Okay, and for this fight, you can use basically any build you want. Like I said, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. This is just one of the ways. You can use a completely different way. It is totally up to you. I'm going to be running my 250 intellect, 250 endurance, and 250 luck build here. Okay, so get enough SP. Let's try and get more Shadow Feeder Pendant procs. Okay, 4 turns. I think I am happy with that. So, Shadow Feeder Pendant, I am going to go into Torontosaurus Rex. This is a very easy to get armor. You can buy it from Chili's shop. Okay, go to your travel map and then go to the Frostville village. Click on Chili's shop and you can just buy this armor straight up. Okay, and let me see here. Everything else, yeah, it doesn't really matter what you use. Okay, so for the first turn of the Shadow Feeder Pendant, I want to do Basket Breath. Oh, looks like I don't have enough SP. Oops, a daisy. Okay, so gain more SP first. And it doesn't matter how much HP you're using up, because this guy will deal literally no damage to you. If you're not running an endurance build, then maybe you can't do what I'm doing and you might take a little while longer. This is just to speed things up. You can just normally attack with your weapon and his first phase doesn't have any regen, so you still take him down. It's just a matter of how long it takes. I'm using a skill here to speed up everything. Oh. Oops a daisy. Oops a daisy indeed. Yikes. Okay. Bad example. Bad. Don't follow what I did just right there. I forgot he inflicted the imbue on me. So all my attacks are going to heal him. Okay. So don't attack him when you have the imbue up. Yep. That was a waste. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. Now he attacks. And then we go back. Now we don't have the imbue. We can hit him hard. Okay. So Basket Breath. Boom. There we are. And then I want to switch out back to Altamon, and I'm going to use Crystal of Restless Shadow so he doesn't do much damage against me. Okay, there we go, and you can see the backlash damage is literally 1 damage only. Nothing to be afraid of. 24, yep, it's a joke, man. He really can't hit me now. Okay, Torontosaurus Rex again. And then we want to do Basket Breath. Boom, spam that. Go back into Altamon and then just do normal attack. You can use Crystal of Restless Shadows. For the first part, I don't really think there's a need to, so I'm going to save the SP for the skill instead. And we're just going to attack him regularly. Just remember to not attack him with the skill when you have the imbue on you. Yeah, that was a bad example I did there in my first part. So do as I say, not as I do. Yep, I showed a bad example on purpose, guys, just to show you guys what not to do. Okay, so Basket Breath, boom. There we are, switch back to Altamon. And then for the SP attack, I guess you can use the Crystal of Restless Shadows to tank a bit more damage. You can also use spells with your mage. I am going to use what I have here, which is the Teleport Booth. I know this is a paid spell, but you can use any other spell that is not Light or Darkness element. That will damage him just fine. It's just to speed things up. If you don't use spells, you're a warrior, then just attack him normally, okay? And once he does that to you, you have a choice of either skipping your turn by doing something that skips your turn, or you have a choice of attacking him and healing him. I am going to be doing something that skips my turn so I can avoid healing him. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drink a health pot. That way I don't hit him with my imbue. And then this will also give me more, HP that I can play around with using Essence Orb and using more Shadow Feeder Pendant. Get the Basket Breath out, deal the damage as much as possible you can to him and take him out as quickly as possible. It's a slow battle if you don't want to burst him down, but it's completely doable if you don't have any burst. So for phase 2, okay, MRM and resistances are the same. He still has the same set of abilities. He has freedom, soft damage cap, he has boss boost, but he also has regeneration here, and he regenerates 50% worth of a mob attack per turn. If it's ever brought below 2/3 or 1/3 of its max HP, anytime it's above these values, it will deduct HP to below that value. Basically what it means is that it cannot regen past each third of its HP once not below it. And when using its skill, it loses freedom for the turn and charges up for a turn. During this charge turn, if it gets hit 4+ time or gets hit with a stun status, so anything like paralyze, freeze days, anything that can stun it, okay, the charge gets disrupted. If successfully charged, the mob does a void attack with 300% normal mob damage. If the charge is disrupted, then the mob will skip its turn. Basically, it uses a sort of like a stun break and gains extra 20% heal resist. What this means is that his healing will be less effective, and it also gains 20% elemental vulnerability to all elements for 3 turns. After either of these take place, the mob regains the freedom status. So same as before, you want to use your shadow armor and you want to try and avoid his void attack as much as possible. His healing is pretty crazy, so you do need some burst to take out his second phase, which was why I brought along Torontosaurus Rex. So I already built up my SP bar, okay, with the 2 battles in between, and we'll try and gain as much celerity as we can here, and try and gain as many Shadow Feeder stacks as we can, so we can try and burst him down with Torontosaurus Rex, the skill from Torontosaurus Rex. Okay, so let's gain more SP. You don't need 250 endurance, though it will help a lot, and you don't need a level 5 essence sword. We can use the level 151, though of course this will help a lot as well. Okay, so back to Shadow Feeder. Come on, give me more turns. 4 rounds. Okay, 4 rounds. I think we'll need a lot more than 4 rounds. So I'm thinking maybe at least 8 rounds or something of Shadow Feeder. Yep, that should be good enough. Oh, okay, none of that worked. You know what? We'll stop with the Shadow Feeder pendant for now, and what we're going to be doing is if you are using the vampire or the werewolf subrace, you will have a stun built into your subrace armor. For me, I don't have either of those because I'm running the vampire subrace right now, but you can use any other stun item like a love potion or any other thing that can stun. Your pets can attempt the stun too. It doesn't have to be you. I'm going to be using Bag of Mixed Nuts because I was lazy to do the switch to a different subrace just for the sake of the video. But if you don't have Bag of Mixed Nuts, I know it's a rare item, you can just use anything else with a stun. Okay, that will work. So I want to gain back SP so that I can use my Basket Breath skill from Torontosaurus armor. And then I'm going to do Basket Breath. Of course, Basket Breath is 4+ hit, so technically I didn't have to do that. But yeah, just to show you guys what it will look like if you were to attempt it that way. Okay, so switch back to Ultimon here, and then you can just attack normally, or you can try and burst with a spell. I know Cycerus Teleport Booth is a paid spell like I said just now, but any other spell will work. Destruction Burst is a free to play spell and deals the exact same amount of damage as this Cycerus Teleport Booth over here. So go for Destruction Burst if you are a mage build. It will element seek to fire and you'll deal the same amount of damage. Okay, so now we switch back to Toronto. Gain enough SP. Basket Breath. You can also use Fireball Z. Yep, that's another free to play spell that you can consider using. And then we'll do Teleport Booth. You can bring along a gas too to help with the damage, but of course the gas will eat up more resources, so keep that in mind. Now it's time for phase 3. Okay, so phase 3, he loses his freedom and his boss boost, so he only has a soft damage cap. But instead he has an unstoppable effect where it burns some SP to break out of any stun. So if you try to stun him, he will use his SP to try and break out of it. And he also has 50% stronger SP generation, so it can cast its skill more often, and you basically have to spam stuns to drain its SP. Okay, so MRM and resistances remain the same. The skill deals normal damage, but this damage is split between 3 hits. The first hit deals HP damage, the second hit deals 1.5 times MP damage, and the third hit deals 1.125 times SP damage. So yeah, you don't want to get hit too many times by the skill, otherwise it's gonna drain all of your resources. So it doesn't have any more heals, but he will drain a lot of your resources if you aren't careful. Okay, so I want to use up my resources before he can drain it, so I'm going to spam and get as many turns of celerity as I can in the first round, ideally, so that even if he were to drain my resources, that way I already have the celerity stacks. Okay, the good news is that he doesn't have any regen this round, so we can just play it slow. Even if he does manage to drain all of your resources, just sticking in this armor with this shield setup, you don't even need the miscellaneous item. He's going to be dealing basically no damage to you, and you don't really have anything to worry about. Okay, so 5 rounds. So yeah, the third phase is probably the easiest in my opinion if you have a shadow shield and a shadow armor setup. Spam more. Alright, now bring out Shadow Feeder again. Okay, 6 rounds. You know what? That's not gonna be enough, but we'll stick with 6 rounds first. Because he doesn't heal, this should go by pretty quickly. So, Toronto. You can use any damage boosting items, miscellaneous items, booster pets, weapon shields for this if you have. I'm just doing this in a way that requires the least amount of equipment, so I'm not boosting anything at all. And for spells, you don't have teleport boost, just get Destruction Burst or Fireball Z. Both are free. So his last phase is also the toughest phase in my opinion, because you really need to burst him down and you need a weapon or spell of every single element. Okay, so when attacked, he adds the element of the attack to a list. Each time it gets hit with an attack that's already on the list, it adds 1 charge. The list resets when the mob fires its skill. So he has freedom, soft damage cap, and boss boost. Everything else is the same. The skill seeks between light, dark, or harm damage and deals extra 10% damage per charge currently on the mob. Skill also applies a permanent regen to the mob, worth 5% of a mob's attack per charge. So if the mob has 3 charges, the skill does extra 30% damage and applies a permanent regen to the mob, worth 15% mob damage per turn. Once the skill is done, the charges are wiped. So you want to hit him with as many different elements as possible. But you don't want to use a multi-element hit spell, otherwise you're just going to use up all your elements in 1 turn, which is not what you want to do. Okay, so first things first, you're gonna try and get as many Shadow Feeder celerity charges as you can, because you need to burst him down before he gets off too many fires of his skill. The more times he fires off his skill, the more or the stronger his regen is going to be. And for the first part of the battle, I am actually not going to be using a pet. I think that is probably going to be beneficial, because the pet is not always going to be able to damage his HP. And when it fails, each time your pet acts, he will get extra, charge, because the pet is only hitting with 1 element, right? So for the first part, I think we'll just do it without the pet first. Okay, so Essence Orb, I think you want to try and aim for 10. I don't think 10 will be enough. It will be very close, but we're gonna try and aim for 10, okay? Ideally, you want as much as you can. If you can go above 10, then even better. Eight. Okay, 8 turns. Is 8 enough? Yeah, I think you really have to try and go for it because bursting is the name of the game here. If you don't burst him down quickly enough, you're dead once his regen builds up. Underwhelming is not super reliable, so don't rely on him draining the SP. Okay, 11. Awesome. Okay, I think I am happy with that. 11. So to start things off, we are going to go into our Torontosaurus. So basket breath first. So fire. Yeah, 1 element down. Then let's do energy. Oh, miss. That's bad. Miss again. Darn it. Okay, that was bad. So we have fire and energy. Now I'm going to do ice. You can use anything else. It doesn't have to be this. This just happens to be what I have, okay? I know this is premium, but it doesn't have to be this. Can be anything else that has good burst damage. Ice, and then I think we can do wind. Okay, ice, wind, fire, energy. We can do harm. Yeah, you can do harm as well. Harm also counts. Harm. And you can also do water. Let's do water. Alright, I think I exhausted all my elements. There is earth as well. We can try for earth, I guess. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drink a mana pot, so I have enough for the next round of casting, and I am going to. First one, I don't really want to give him anything, so I think I'll just drink. Okay, I will bring out Crystal of Restless Shadows first to resist some of that, and I think I will drink another mana pot here. Yep. Alright, so it heals about 200 and only 1.8 power regen. That's good news for us. Okay, so for pets, I want to do Underwhelming here, and he start off with damaging his SP right now. Armor back into Toronto. Wait, we can take away that item, save ourselves some SP. We don't need that. Basket breath. So fire. We have energy. We have ice. We have wind. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, instead of switching elements, I'm just going to be using all the bursts that I can. So Torontosaurus, Basket Breath, and hopefully, oh my god, I forgot I'm using that weapon. Ah, that was bad. That was so bad. Okay, back into Ultimon. Mana pot. Okay. So heal up here. Burst here. Alright, so the SP drain is working. Yup, SP drain is working out very well. Almost done. So you really need to burst him at the last stage. If he uses the SP attack, you're pretty much done. Okay, I think we got it. Yes, I think we got it, guys. Okay, switch back to Ultimon. There we go. All 4 phases of Shadowscythe Virophage done, okay? So I hope you guys have found this guide helpful. If you have, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and of course subscribe to this channel if you guys would like to see more of such future content. If you need help with any other enemies or if you have any questions regarding how I beat this, do feel free to let me know as well down in the comments below. Till the next time, I'm your host Korriban Gaming. Peace out.